Okay, let's talk about warm-ups. So for warm-ups, we're going to keep this really simple. We're going to use an acronym called RAMP. So RAMP stands for raise, activate, mobilize, and potentiate. Raise is simple. This is the part of the warm-up that everybody always gets right. You're quite simply just getting warm. So you want to raise your heart rate, raise your body temp. This is when you get a little bit sweaty. Typically in a gym, people are going to go get on a treadmill or on a bike. If you're stuck at home and you don't have any fitness equipment, you can just get on a step. Most people have some type of step in their house, and you can step up, up, down, down, on and off that step, let's say for like 3 to 5 minutes, and you can put on some of your favorite music and you step to the beat. Again, you're going to want to work long enough and fast enough to where you can raise your heart rate a little bit, right? Now we need to activate and mobilize. We need to activate and mobilize key joints and muscles that we're going to be using. So we don't have to be super creative here. If you're going to be doing a back squat in your workout, you can activate and mobilize the key muscles and joints by doing an air squat, right? Now you can use other exercises as well. So if you think about what's going on with a back squat, we're using pretty much all the muscles of the lower legs. We're using the ankle joint, the knee, the hip, and we're working through a pretty good range of motion. So you could use something like a lunge. It's going to give you something a little bit similar. I would still throw in an air squat if you're going to be back squatting, but you can add more variety to it if you want to, but you don't have to. Now, potentiate, that's when you're going to start to work up to the working load that you're going to use. There's a lot of creative ways you can use potentiation. Again, we're going to keep it very simple. So if you're doing a back squat, let's say you've raised your body temp, you've activated and you've mobilized with some air squats. You know you're going to want to do 3 sets of 12 at about 135 pounds. Well, I don't want you to just put 135 on the bar and just start squatting it. We want to work our way up. So now you pick up the barbell, you put it on your back, you do a set with 45 pounds, and then you progressively add on weight until you get to that appropriate weight for whatever working set you're doing on that day. Now, let's say you're doing a body weight exercise. Okay, so maybe 3 sets of 12 for an air squat is going to be your workout. And so you feel like if you do too many air squats in the warm up, in the activate and mobilize portion, you might actually get more fatigued. There might be too much volume for you. Well, we can just reduce the range of motion and we can start or take off some of that load and start to work on it. So let me give you an example. So like an air squat. So if I'm going to do 3 sets of 12 for air squat, maybe I'm going to start with activate and mobilizing key joints by doing a partial squat. So I might do a few reps like this. Now, I'm not really activating and mobilizing those key joints to the full range of motion yet. So maybe I can use something like a door frame to help take that weight off and I can work to that range of motion. So I'm going to use the door frame to support my weight. And I'm going to actually drop down and work to full depth. Now my legs are not taking the full weight because my upper body's using the door frame, right? So I might work through that a little bit. And then the potentiation, even though I'm just doing body weight, is to actually then do a few reps at full depth to make sure I'm ready to go for that 3 sets of 12. So that's a good way you can do it for body weight exercises. You can first start with reducing the range of motion and then progressively increasing the range of motion and finding creative ways maybe to decrease the load of body weight. So for a push-up, you might do an incline push-up on the wall, right? And then you might go down a little bit further to a bench and then eventually work your way to the floor if you're going to do a full push-up, things like that. So you can be a little bit creative if you need to, but you don't have to. This is very, very simple. Get your body temp up, mobilize the key joints to the ranges of motion that you're going to be using, and then work your way up if you're doing any type of load so that you're not starting with your work set. So if you're doing something with that's 3 sets of 12, you may actually do 5, 6, 7 sets total, in the workout if you include the warm up and the workout together, because it's going to take you a little bit of time to get up to that working weight sometimes, especially as you start to get stronger. All right. So that should set you up well for your warm ups.